In the American economy, wages are determined by supply and demand. If there are plenty of workers who are willing to work for minimum wage, why would any employer pay more? But we've all seen what this kind of unfettered capitalism can lead to. Inadequate pay, miserable working conditions, and a widening gap between the rich and poor are just some of the consequences. Recently, though, I found out about a business structure that doesn't have these problems, and it relies on quite a simple concept.
You don't feel like you're trying to meet some boss's expectations and you're doing it because you want to, not because you have to.
In a traditional business, the owner invests capital to buy resources and hires you, the worker, to leverage those resources to make money. But this isn't the only way.
It started as a small cheese shop in 1967, and I believe it was in 1971 when they collectivized.
Collectivism is the principle that all workers collectively manage the business. The cheese board achieves this by making everyone an owner and a manager, splitting profits evenly.
Fundamentally, it's just a more egalitarian structure for a business.
Because there's not one person at the very top making a ton of money. Wages, I think, are generally better.
Any excess that we have at the end of the year is distributed to everyone based on how many hours they work.
We often say, none of us is going to get rich doing this, but we can all make a living and take care of ourselves and our families.
But it doesn't stop there. The fact that everyone is an owner and a stakeholder in the business leads to other benefits that you might not expect.
We get to make our own rules in many ways.
We're empowered to decide things like health benefits, patronage, and the general well-being of our worker owners.
When you're responsible for your business, you put more effort and more heart into the work.
Being able to work at Cheese Board is such a privilege. It's by far the best work environment I've ever had.
It's nice to know that the work we're doing supports us.
If this concept is so beneficial, and it's been around since the 70s, why are there still only 20 worker-owned businesses in Berkeley?
I think there's just the base reason of in capitalism, if you're the sole owner of a place, you're the one that makes the most profits, so there's a financial reason not to want to.
I don't know that every business is an ideal business to be a cooperative. You have to have 100% buy-in from the people who are becoming owners, right?
Labor is distributed, but it's a lot more work. I don't think that people should force the collective structure onto a group of unwilling people.
It seems that collectivism is a lot more complicated than a traditional business, and that might dissuade both workers and owners from adopting it. But what about employers who want to motivate their workers with profit sharing, but not force them to co-manage the business? I went looking and found another business in Berkeley that does exactly that.
I started at Zachary's in 1999. We are employee-owned through an employee stock ownership plan, which is also known as ESOPs.
Active employees have shares of the company, and those shares represent a retirement plan.
There still is a top-down hierarchy structure. Our decisions are still made by the higher-ups of the company.
The biggest noticeable difference is just the level of ownership mentality.
It's a different kind of capitalism, and it's a way that there's not just these rich dudes in an ivory tower making all the money. It's shared with the employee owners.
It's good to have things like this at a job. It gives you incentive more than just the paychecks.
I think it's pretty common nowadays in the tech industry that no one's going to be staying at a job for more than a couple years. We have pizza makers that have been with us for over 30 years.
The connectedness that we share as employee owners is definitely something special to be a part of.
As our society continues to fight for workers' rights, hopefully we can use both of these systems where applicable to improve wages and working conditions for our working class.
I personally think that it's not very widespread because it's not very well known.
I would encourage people to absolutely explore the possibility of becoming a cooperative.
As ESOPs become more well known, I would hope to see more of them because I think it benefits the business and the community at large.
Cliff Bar was an ESOP for a while. King Arthur Flour Company is an ESOP.
I think that it's something that would make a lot of employees happier.
If we can do it, I think a corporation can do it.